Welcome into the Sports Buffoons Podcast. Oh, let's get it going out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world. Welcome on in, back again, once again, to the Sports Buffoon Studios here out of Lenexa, Kansas. After a quick 2-week hiatus, we are back in the saddle again. So what's up, fellas? We got Tanner Dawson to my right, Jason Gigi to my left, and a whole new setup.
A little setup, yeah. A little easier for me to clean up and begin, so.
True that. We can watch some dirty movies in the background a little easier this way, and
That's
so
right.
Tanner can get his work done that way. So, I mean, whatever you're into in your free time, man, now you can do it in a more simplified fashion, Tanner. So
it'll look better.
we appreciate it. And we got a nice little fan over here. Good to have a fan join us every once in a while.
If only it was on.
But yeah, how you guys doing?
Feel great, man. Feel great. Drank a little bit too much last night, but this late in the evening, I'm happy to say that I'm fully recovered.
Fully recovered after. I mean, it's been 24 hours or so since you last had a drink.
Yeah, I'm fully
Something
recovered.
like that. So
on my little binge day.
Yeah. Okay. Tanner, what about you? You're finally sipping on something. You were out last week, so what was going on?
Last week we went down to Wichita and blew up 60 artillery shells and 25 cakes. That was a blast there. But I decided I haven't drank on the show in a while. Probably about 3 or 4 shows, to be honest with you. So I figured, hey, let's have a beer, new setup, kind of a new reset in a way for us and just getting ready to begin in football. So
that's what's funny, Tanner. So I'm going to go August of no drinking on the show, or drinking in general, really. But for some reason, it seems like whenever I stop drinking, you just start drinking more. But yet whenever I'm drinking more, you don't drink at all. This doesn't make any sense.
Well, I drank I just didn't drink on the show. That's all. I didn't drink on a Wednesday.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. That's because you were so hungover from the weekend.
Nah,
so,
shame. Actually, there's some days, man.
Shame.
Some days.
That's all right, man. We all have our sins. We do. I mean, there's some places out there that probably do a lot more sinning than we do, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We'll save that for the topics of the show. Also, we're going to talk. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say also, guys, it's July, and we're going to hit on some fantasy football for a few minutes today, as well as a little bit of Chiefs. And then at the back end of the show, talk some NBA free agency. But yeah, Tanner, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask you guys here before we kick off our tentative subjects here, but D-Hop went from plus 500 to minus 300 signing with the Titans today. Possibly there. Do you guys believe in this Titan signing, or are we just saying that this is some big deal, kind of like the draft was when Scoot went from plus 200 to minus 500 to be number 2 pick?
I'm not taking the bait.
You're not taking the bait?
It's too early. I think whenever he does sign, it'll be probably a week or 2 from now still. And I think the Titans are also, and he knows it in the back of his mind, that's the wrong choice.
Well, he knows the Patriots. So do you think he ends up with still one of those guys?
No, I don't think he goes to the Patriots or the Titans, because I think what's going on here is he's in this holding pattern waiting for a team he actually cares for to give him an offer he actually could take into consideration. And they might not do it, but I think if he really wanted to go to one of these 2 teams he interviewed with, he'd have already done it. So to me, I think it's BS. Do not put your money on.
I heard a big lucrative offer was set to him. That's why I asked.
I'm sure it was, but I'm also going to say D-Hop's going to sit back still and continue to wait.
I see both sides of it, because if you're the Titans, why would you do the deal? Because you're not going to win anything anyway. But I also see the other side of it is, you got your new quarterback in there. You don't want him to play like dog shit in his first year. So
are you talking about Will Levis?
Yeah, why not give him a decent quarterback?
All the reports are Will Levis is getting beat by Willis right now.
Yeah,
it is not looking pretty right now.
It doesn't matter, though. Either way, whoever the starter is, you want to get him a decent wide receiver in there so they don't play like ass the whole season.
So here's the thing. It's going to go against everything Hopkins talked about, though, because he talked about wanting to have, I think a decent quarterback is important to him. He wants to have a great pass rush. I think, he talked about his top 5 things he wants in a new team. And I don't think the Titans fit most of those things.
They don't. But it's like we say on every other topic on this show. There's always a price for everyone. Sure. And if they put the right price on it, I think D-Hop would do it. But I'm with you, Mike. I'm not buying those odds by any stretch of the imagination. I think we got a long way to go.
So I got one more question I want to ask you guys, because I wanted more input than just what I get on the Let's Talk Sports show. One of my co-hosts, Sam, he's a Titans fan. He has been stating for the last month and a half that if D-Hop goes to a team such as the Titans, such as the Patriots, such as the Chiefs, this guy is not wide receiver 1 material anymore. He's on the wrong side of 30, and he's no longer the threat that he once was at wide receiver 1. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, given the circumstance, I mean, I think he has potential to still be that productive, but
you realized in 7 games, or like 10 games, he had 700 yards after coming back, right?
Yeah,
he was
really
on
good.
pace for 1,200 yards.
Yeah, that's really good. I know. I'm very aware.
Okay.
I'm not of any kind of a mode where I'm saying he's washed up by any means. I still think he's got at least 2 more really, really good years left in him where he's a WR1. So to me, I mean, but he's also wasting his time when you go to a team that's going to be in that position.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not going to make any sense. I mean, yeah, they might throw him a lot of money, but he himself or his legacy, if he cares about that, it's not the right spot to be in.
I mean, number one, the fact that he got suspended means that he has less mileage for a normal 31-year-old. And number two, you can't treat him like he's a running back. We all know that running backs, when they hit 31, 32, most of them get washed. It's a completely different position. He's not banged up like a running back would be at this age. So I firmly believe he's got plenty left in the tank, no matter where he plays.
I agree. I believe this is a 1,000+ yard receiver, despite wherever he may enter.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you talk about leaving stuff in the tank, but also you could have a really great car sit there and not get used properly, and all of a sudden you're going to have old fuel left in there that never gets used, and now all of a sudden it's not worth anything anymore because it's just going to sit around and age, and all of a sudden now you're not getting the right production you could have gotten out of it.
Well, that's kind of like the Deshaun Watson argument.
Yeah.
We all think that at his position that he plays, sitting around is not a good thing. I feel like wide receiver is more like riding a bike.
Well, it's
you're
just
never going to forget how to play
like
that
Dalvin
position.
Cook stated a week ago, like he's not signing with he's like, I don't like the Dolphins offer. If I can't get on the Jets, I'm just going to wait till there's an injury in the middle of the season and go play for that team. So, and
if you're a running back, that's not a bad move because
it's not horrible, especially a guy like him.
A year, into the year while you're still fully healthy, then that can actually help down the stretch of a season.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hopkins needs to be integrated
right away
into a system,
yes,
whoever that may be.
But we saw what he was with Colt McCoy and whoever the heck the other quarterback was. So like without Kyler Murray, he was still at 700+ yards, which is stupid.
Yeah, no, and he's been used to working with pretty poor quarterbacks over the years of his career, other than the time with Watson, of course.
Murray and Watson would be your top 2.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's had a bunch of crap come through there. So, I mean, I just think a guy like that could have 2 elite seasons going to a proper team. That includes, teams that have interest in him, like the Bills or the Chiefs.
Yep.
And he's going to waste his career away saying, what if? Yeah, the money might be nice. I get that. But he's going to say, what if he'd gone, won a ring? Because that's what we're doing here in Kansas City.
Yep.
And that's what he's not going to do anywhere else right now. So that is the goddamn truth, guys.
Plus, if he just did like a 1-year prove it deal with the Chiefs, I mean, how much more money would he get on the next deal? He could kind of do like what Juju Smith-Schuster did, except he'd get a much bigger contract because he's a better wide receiver.
Yeah, possibly. I just don't think he's in the mode for a 1-year deal. I think he's wanting something that's going to secure him a little bit more than that is all. So guys, before we get to Northwestern, let's talk about what we're sipping on. JG's got a little drink over there.
I just take whatever the bartender over here gives me. So
some spiced rum, baby.
Sort of spiced rum, which I hate, but it gets the job done.
And Tanner, you got some.
I got the Avery. What is that? Whatever Avery you bought me.
It's a tweaker.
The tweaker. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tweaker. That's good.
That's what it is.
Very nice. I got a tiny bit of what was it? Maker's Mark? Is that what it was? Yeah, that's what I'm.
Maker's Mark.
Yeah, okay. I think so. So that's what I'm working on over here. But guys, we have 4 main topics to get to today. So first and foremost, we had a buddy of ours, of course, Mr. AC Regier, wanted to know a little bit of our thoughts on the Northwestern hazing situation out there. And I honestly have not spent a lot of time looking into it. I mean, I guess it's the off season of all sports today, right? Mm-hmm. Technically, Tanner, it's one of the days of the year where there's literally nothing going on in the sports world. You
have Summer League to bet on, and you have WNBA. That is your 2 spots.
But apparently, have fun with that. Maybe you get some bonuses on there or something.
Right.
Apparently, with the Northwestern situation, though, there has been some sexual misconduct, some hazing rituals that have gone on over the years at Northwestern. Some things, deemed to be inappropriate, and made a lot of the freshmen, the younger guys feel uncomfortable.
So this was partially since 2007, right? Since the Northwestern player did come out since 07.
So it's been going on a while.
So it's been going on a while. Now, it sounds like it's most likely this has escalated over time. But as we know in today's world, everything's more fragile than it was
a lot of snowflakes
15 years
out
ago,
there.
right?
A lot of
So,
snowflakes.
A lot more fragile. Now, there was some stuff in here, such as this one. Hazing took place center. This is on SB Nation, by the way. The hazing took place centered around a phrase called running, where according to the former player, a student athlete made a mistake in practice would be restrained by a group of 8 to 10 upperclassmen dressed in various purge-like masks who would then begin dry humping the victim in a dark locker room. That's a little overboard in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
it's not.
Let's
ideal.
be real. What are we doing?
Well, I think so. That's just one of the many instances, and I think part of the issue right now we're dealing with is that the coach of the team supposedly had knowledge of this, according to some reports. Knowledge of this, and maybe even encouraged it at times. Whenever he felt like a certain player of the team maybe deserved it after like a really, really bad game or whatever the hell may be. I don't know the full details. I wasn't there. We all weren't there. But at some point, someone got fired, right, Tanner?
Pat Fitzgerald ended up getting fired. By the way, like for this program to have this come out at this time for them, what a horrendous time for them. This is a team that was up and coming program right now in college football. They had a great season last year being competitive. And now who knows what's going to happen with all this stuff here. The transfer portal is going on. Like this team could be devastated by this with a bunch of players gone too.
Sure. It could leave a mark for sure. It might hurt a little bit.
It probably will.
So I was reading through some of the things that they used to do, though. There was one called the car wash. It's where the first player said that some players would stand naked at the entrance to the showers and spin around, forcing those entering the showers to basically rub up against another bare naked man. So imagine yourself, Jason, if you're staying there at the entrance and you're just twirling like this in a circle. Basically, it's like a helicopter, but you're instead of doing like the swirl, you're going to do the full 360 turn and give whoever's walking in a car wash with your penis. Is that something you'd be into?
I'm not into that.
I'm not really down with that, actually.
Supposedly that's a thing that might have went on at least once a year. Once a year.
So bad, dude.
Yeah,
they did a car wash.
I'm sure it's a big surprise to everyone that the JG is not down with that, as well as I'm also not down with the dry humping. I'm not good with that.
In a dark room with purge mask?
Okay, yeah. Maybe if the lights were on, I might have a different opinion.
Here's the thing.
But not with the lights off. Hell no.
The lights on and no mask, I think you'd be into that. But
the lights on and no mask.
That's just from my experience being around you.
Well, we know that Aaron Rodgers would be into it with no mask.
Right.
But in a dark room, he likes the dark room.
He also likes the dark room. So he'd be good for that. I'm not down with that.
So what does this mean, guys, for I mean, we just had a couple of students come out, right? Former student and a student come out here on this hazing ritual. And we all know what's today's age, again, going back to today's age compared to what it was 10, 15 years ago. Somebody comes out and does something and they say something to, announce it. It starts spreading like a wildfire. Are we going to start seeing some of these big programs that might have this issue as well? Alabama, Oklahoma. Could we see a UCLA, a USC? Could we be seeing some big scandals pop up now because of this, because Northwestern's coming out?
Well, Alabama's already had their scandals. My big thing is like, why is everybody questioning the fact that allegedly Northwestern waited too long to fire the coach? There's no evidence that the guy knew anything about it. And it's just like, you don't want to wait until there's a little bit of an investigation before you fire the coach. So I understand that he's in charge of the program, and most definitely he's got to be fired, whether he's responsible for it or not. You have to fire him. But I don't quite understand when people say things like, why did you wait so long? Well, the people that say things like that don't have a clue about the situation. They have no part in the investigation. All they know how to do with their lives is just call for somebody's head.
So according to the player, SB Nation again, according to the player that came to the Daily, Fitzgerald would repeatedly make the gesture specifically towards freshmen. This was seen as deliberate encouragement to continue hazing. So there was a hazing gesture towards the freshmen at the time.
See, this just reminds me a little bit on a lesser scale of a Joe Pa from Penn State, where I fully feel like he knew about the situations going on there with Sandusky the entire time. I don't care what anyone wants to
Correct,
say.
yeah.
I don't care how much Tom Bahali wants to back up Joe Pa. He knew about it the entire time. This situation, I mean, if you've been a coach around for how long now, Tanner? Has he been a part of the program?
See, if it was what was it? 07 was the come out
original.
year?
So this thing's been going on since before he was a coach. So
Yeah,
it's been a part of the program.
2006.
So 06. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind that. Excuse me. So,
but he was a linebackers coach from 01 to 05. Took over in 06 after head coach Randy Walker passed away suddenly. And so basically he's been with the program since 01, head coach since 06.
Okay. So he's been a part of it since the allegations apparently were supposedly began, right?
Correct.
So he's been a part of that whole thing. So, I mean, yeah, to me, in a lot of ways, it does look like a Joe Pa situation where, yeah, he knew about it the entire time, but you know, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's to me, I thought about this in my own personal life, you know, with the hazing thing, and I feel like a lot of this happens more frequently than people realize.
Yeah.
Especially in male sports. I'm not sure about female sports. I can't speak to that, but in male sports, at some point, everyone is goofing around, being assholes to each other, and sometimes they turn weird.
I've never had it taken this far on my side.
I told you a little bit off the air, but you know, in my high school, we had a thing that I think they called it the hog or something like that. But you would open up the locker room door, and there would be a guy with his pants down, bent over, with his ball sack and penis sticking out the other way towards you.
He told us that.
And that was called the hog, but it was like supposed to like, I don't know, we're supposed to just see the balls and ass and just like close the door, or like you come up and like, you know, fondle him. I don't know, but they thought it was funny for you to stare at his backside of his ball sack. You know, this happened all the time. I'm sure many guys that grew up in the 80s, in the 90s in high school experienced something similar to that in some kind of way. I mean, yeah, is it cool? No, it's not cool. It's not cool. It's stupid. It's immature. But I think we all went through some form of that.
But I mean, at this age, a lot of guys are immature. Like when you're a sports player, you're immature at this age.
And do you guys have anything? I had a little top 10 list for myself. I'm not going to say all 10, but a top 10 list of the greatest NFL hazing rituals that we know about.
I just want to hear about it. I don't have anything for you guys on that. I want to hear about
it. Here's my number 10. Just kick it off. Joe Montana used to throw rookies' bikes into trees before practice. So basically, Joe Montana would basically, you know, you ride your bike down to the practice field before practice and all that, and he would take their bikes and chuck them into trees, so that way they either had to walk down or they had to, you know, uncover them from the tree limbs to get their bikes out. And that was just his way of like being an asshole, apparently, to the rookies. Like that was his thing. Just wanted to be a big butthole, I guess, to the rookies. And
how did he get him up there? Did he climb a ladder with the bike in one hand and grab the ladder with the other hand?
I assume he would take the bikes and literally just swing around and chuck them.
Yeah, he probably just chucked it.
Go. I mean,
like that guy in his shape at the time.
I mean,
it's
it's
true.
Supreme athlete of that era. So I mean,
those quarterbacks weren't just skinny ass runs, right? Those quarterbacks were.
Sure
they had to put a little muscle on them.
Basically, just making it to where the rookies had to either walk down or, you know, retrieve their bike from the trees if they wanted to ride down to the practice field. Next one. This is kind of funny, guys. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm a big butthole myself. But Trendon Holiday. You guys are familiar with Trendon Holiday?
I've heard this before.
The very, very short 5'5" kick returner that spent a few years with the Denver Broncos. He's about 170 pounds. So apparently 1 year at practice. So the Houston Texans are who he was originally with, I believe. They actually gifted him a little pink tricycle to ride around training camp. So he was not allowed to use a regular bicycle. He had to use a little pink tricycle, like a little girl's tricycle, to get around on campus during that time period. So that's
a good one.
The Houston Texans hazing of Trendon Holiday. We all know about Tim Tebow and him getting the Friar Tuck. You know, they made him basically shave his head or give him the whole horseshoe deal. Remember that, Tanner?
Yep, I remember that.
So that was that old one. Let's see. There was one. John Beeson had the same thing happen to him as Dwayne Bowe. Both of them got tied up to a goalpost, and then not waterboarded, but basically you just had the entire bucket of Gatorade or water then dumped on your head while you were tied up to the goalpost.
That's not
bad. You know, it's not as bad as waterboarding, but I mean,
hell no.
It's still, you know, not a comfortable situation to be in, but you know, that's some somewhat harmless deal right there, right? Now, here's another one. Chris Colmer loses his wheels is the name of this one. So he was a rookie offensive tackle for the Buccaneers who refused to get Mike Allstott a cup of Gatorade at practice. This was mistake number one, apparently. So Allstott then paid a visit to Colmer's residence later that night and ended up stealing the rims and putting his car up on blocks. When Colmer went out to his car, all he found was directions to the 4 different locations of where he could find his wheels. So basically, Mike Allstott was a big butthole to this guy.
By the way, did you guys see the recent pictures of Mike Allstott at 50 years old?
Yeah, I mean, he's still
6-pack abs.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Freaking beast. Like at 50, dude.
Oh yeah, he's in good shape.
You took a picture of Bert Kirkshire, so that's why I know. I was like, man, that's unbelievable.
Throw him in there. Let him play linebacker for somebody.
He could do it, probably.
Yeah,
like TL.
Basically, you should just get Allstott as Gatorade as well.
Yeah, get Allstott as Gatorade.
Otherwise, he's going to literally
today too. Today as well.
He's going to steal your wheels, and you're not going to enjoy it.
Top 10's hilarious.
Our supposed number one on this list. I'm just going to skip ahead for a minute, but Kevin Haslam for the Jacksonville Jaguars had a rookie hazing where they went ahead. They gave him the old head shave, right? They were going to cut his hair for him.
Correct.
Well, what they ended up doing, and I wish we had a picture of this for the people at home, but Kevin Haslam, it might be technically an explicit picture, I don't know, but they shaved his hair into the shape of a balls and a penis on his entire skull. And so let's just say that's a little cruel. I mean, yeah, I guess you could just shave it all off, and say, okay, I'm just going to shave it all off, go full bald. I don't need to have hair up there anyway.
That's a good one. I like that one.
But I mean, imagine someone like literally taking your head and like shaving a balls and penis and your
I wouldn't mind
hair.
that.
Would it be all right?
I wouldn't
It's like
mind
having a mohawk.
Hey man, all of these are better than the dry humping. Every single thing you've said so far. I don't mind any of it.
That's what I mean. This is all harmless fun and games. I'm not going to endorse any kind of unwanted sexual humping and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's the stuff that's too far. Yeah, there you go, Tanner. Tanner's going to find the picture for us.
There it is. All right.
I think
we'll share it, guys, real quick.
Yeah, real quick. This is the Kevin Haslam rookie hazing picture right here for us. So, yeah, not fun, but I mean, it's also still harmless. I mean,
so weird, dude.
Yeah, that's a thing. So, yeah, like I said, guys, all those were pretty harmless hazing rituals. I know much more went on many years back. Today's world, the Chiefs don't tolerate rookie hazing. And then maybe that's why the rookies are so damn good here in Kansas City, because they're treated like veterans. They're expected to act like veterans. They're expected to come in and be at the top of the game from the get-go.
Your 5th, 6th, 7th rounders, all expected to play, and they're all playing at high levels.
And also, what veteran in their right mind is going to think, oh, I'm going to pick on the rookie? No, that rookie's going to take your job, bastard. So don't be picking on the rookie. That rookie just took your damn job. So get the hell out of here. So I mean, these days that stuff doesn't happen. And obviously football is a whole different mindset, and it's a lot of guys being idiots at times, but and rookies are treated differently. Most sports rookies are understood. They're going to take a while. MLB, whenever you're drafted, you're going to be sitting there for a while. You're going to be in the minors for a while. You're pretty much treated pretty equal, I would say, because everyone with you is equal. Everyone's on the same playing field, just trying to hopefully make a squad one day. And then the NBA, it takes time for them to develop as well. It's not going to be a thing where you just plug and play. You don't have very many LeBron James of the world who just come right in and start playing.
Yeah, we are, Carlos.
So, in the NFL, it's like, you're part of the boys from part of the men from day one who also still want to act like boys from day to day.
So that's your list. You got
that's my list, man.
All right. So I'm going to go back about, let's say 11 years. Damian Lillard, right? We're going to talk about him a little bit later.
Carlos, fill that out already.
He's wanting to get that deal done so he can go play for the Heat. But Damian Lillard, back in the day when he was a rookie, he had to wear a Hello Kitty pink backpack as a rookie. And another guy, one of the newest members of the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal, as a rookie, he had to, in practices, like in the preseason or whatever, had to tie and untie the shoes of Trevor Ariza.
Really? Tie and untie.
Out of everybody, Trevor Ariza?
Yeah,
just
I'm
one guy.
Wondering what's that
one
about?
guy. You have to tie his shoes every practice and then untie them when he's done.
Ooh, so every practice, huh?
Every practice.
Ooh, I don't know how to feel about that one.
But
that'd get old.
Again, those are pretty harmless. But I mean, like it worked out for Dame Lillard. He's a superstar.
No one's whipping out their dicks and dry humping, right?
Exactly.
So that's what
in
matters.
the dark.
That's what matters.
Let's turn up the lights.
That's so bad.
Let's light some candles. Let's set the mood for this shit.
Anyway, the coach got fired. Let's get over
Right.
it.
But I was just reading. I mean, it just drives me like we've all been in locker rooms, but like that, like what are we doing? What are we doing?
It could be like I don't know. Could be like a demonic ritual or some shit like that.
That's what it sounds like with purge masks. So
We've obviously heard of worse out there.
Right,
You know what I mean? So
there are
I mean,
worse.
This is not the worst thing of all time, but was it worth firing a coach over? I mean, like you said, he had to.
I think so. If it's
It's all
could happen to
about
anybody.
it's all about the optics. It honestly,
if you had
and
a guy
obviously,
from 07 come
we're-
out to you,
we're saying, and there, I guess there's a little bit of evidence that he knew what was going on. But let's say, for hypothetically, that he had no clue it was going on. Still happened under your watch. Today's age, you're fired. Does not matter.
it don't matter.
Does not matter if you had anything to do with it or not, or if you knew about it. It happened under your watch. You got to step aside.
True that. It is what it is. But anyways, you guys want to talk some fantasy?
Wait, what are we doing?
Well,
What'd you
Fantasy
say?
football season almost.
you know what I'm saying? It's fantasy football season. So
You say we're talking.
it's
talking
July.
fantasy.
It's July. We said we were going to wait till July. We weren't on last week, so now we're here this week.
Yeah,
so
you did tell the
it's-
viewers we were talking fantasy today. So
we are, and as we should. Now we're just kicking it off a little bit, you guys. Nothing too deep yet. Now I'm personally, I used to be an early guy. I used to start doing drafts in June and early July every goddamn year, and I finally realized that was probably not the best value of my time to be drafting that early, especially when there's injuries to consider and stuff like that.
correct.
Things change a lot over the few months before the draft, before the actual season begins. And that's when I realized, I should probably wait until late August or early September for all that stuff. But it does not mean you cannot start preparing as early as June or July. And so I just have a few things I'd like to run down real quick. That would be in my top to expect list. A few bold predictions, if I can put it that way.
I'm curious about these, Mike.
My bold predictions for the year. I'm going to tell you like 5 of them, okay? 5 bold predictions for the fantasy year. Number 1, I don't know how bold you guys think this is, but Trevor Lawrence will finish as a top 5 quarterback statistically this year, meaning he'll be top 5 in fantasy football. That is my number 1 bold prediction
top 5
of the year.
So we're talking. I got my little list out here I've been making. So we're talking possibly kicking Hurts, Herbert, Allen, Lamar out.
Above Herbert,
Above Herbert, Hurts,
probably above Allen.
above Allen. Okay.
Hurts, I'm not sure about that yet.
Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow,
No, they'll be in there.
Rodgers.
No, I think Rodgers.
You got those 3, right?
Rodgers out of the top 5 barely.
Oh.
And Rodgers out of top 5.
Justin Fields.
Fields, no.
Okay. Who do you have your top? I'm curious.
Well, you said at least 4 of them because I'm not.
So
I'm
Mahomes,
not
Burrow,
just counting Hurts.
Hurts,
Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Trevor Lawrence,
There's gonna be one more in there.
and probably Deshaun or Lamar or something like that.
Could be Lamar.
'Kay.
So that either way, Trevor Lawrence is in my top 5. So plan accordingly with your draft. Next up for me, George Pickens is going to have double-digit touchdowns this season. So we saw last year he had 800 yards, over 50 catches, only had 4 touchdowns, but that was also working with a rookie, Kenny Pickett. Seeing Kenny Pickett evolve a little bit this year will be interesting. I think he's going to be a good fit for that team. He's not a bad quarterback. He can make it work. But I think this is a great year where Pickens is going to get full playing time. Deontay Johnson pisses me off. But he's also not a touchdown guy. He doesn't fucking catch touchdowns.
Sucks.
George Pickens does, and he will. So George Pickens is going to be your 11 touchdown type receiver this year. Draft him and expect him to be at least your WR2 on your roster, if not WR1 in some situations. Next one, do not buy too high on Bijan Robinson in year 1.
Agree.
So
agree there.
Right now, Bijan Robinson is top 5 in most drafts, which is way too high to be taking him. I think we're forgetting about the fact that the Atlanta has Tyler Algier, who's also a good player. He's going to take some snaps away from him, especially on the ground. Bijan Robinson needs to be understood that he is a good player. He's not going to get a full workload that deserves to be taken as top 5 overall.
I agree.
In your position. Meanwhile, we're going to sit there and act like Nick Chubb doesn't exist anymore, and he's in the second round in some drafts. That shit is wild to me, especially with Kareem Hunt gone.
Correct. I'm with you there, Dan. I'm with you there.
Anyways, let's just cool off for a minute on Bijan Robinson. If you guys want to take him in your rookie leagues or whatever, dynasty leagues, and take him for that purpose alone, I get it. But also, you're not going to get great value. I think we need to understand that his role is going to be used sparingly within the offense. Probably a 12 to 15 touch guy this year, but that's not enough to warrant a top 5 pick, which is where he's going. I'll give you guys 2 more. So J.K. Dobbins, don't give up. That's all I'm going to say. Do not give up on J.K. Dobbins. The guy averages 5.7 yards per carry so far in his career. Give him more playing time, a better workload, stay healthy. That's what we're banking on, you guys. And that guy is going to be a damn good running back.
You have your receiver core now. You got Odell back, Odell coming in, Bateman back. You got Zay Flowers. You drafted. Like you got weapons now. Lamar has his contract. Like Dobbins should be in your top 5. If he's there in the 5th round, you better be drafting him with every inch of your bone of your body, because that's a guy to draft at 5.
Absolutely. Absolute superstar potential.
That's insane.
Just hasn't panned out, mainly due to injury so far. So do not discount him. Do not look at him as an injured bum. He's not. He's 24 years old, guys.
No.
Let's not give up yet on J.K. Dobbins. Let's see. I'll skip over one here, but I'm going to say Alexander Madison, his ADP is too high. I'm just going to say that right now.
That's what I got too, dude.
I think Madison's a little overvalued because teams saw the situation with him and Dalvin Cook with the Vikings. I think the player himself is not going to do as well as what some think. I think despite the volume, which he's probably going to get.
He's going to get tons of volume.
But, a lot of guys get volume out there. Who was that turd for the Falcons a couple of years ago? They got a lot of volume, a lot of hype actually going into the year.
Mike Davis?
Yeah, Mike
Davis. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say Madison's that bad, but
if I'm
similar idea with the volume.
I mean, if I'm a guy that wants a Minnesota running back, I'm going Dwayne McBride in that one, and I'm going late on it because he's going to be there with that 10-11 turn. So that'd be the guy I'm going.
I'm not touching Madison. That's all I'm going to say about it. So anyways, that's my little rundown. I think I give you like 5 or 6 there.
So here, I got one for you. I just got one. I'm not going to give you a bunch right now. I'm still working on some stuff here. I got pretty cool from Mr. Larison, but the Bears, guys, the Bears have a great schedule. We saw Justin Fields increase his passing attempts through the last year, which was what we needed to see. Who did they acquire? DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore. That's a great one.
It's a number 1 receiver. Should be number 1 on your roster.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
He should be within your first 2 rounds. This is a guy that's going to get tons of targets, and with the schedule that they have coming up, they're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball a ton here, and that questionable on the running back situation too. Can Herbert can he succeed? Who else did they get? They got Rashawn Johnson and Deontay Foreman. Right, so they got 3 guys that are all questionable at the running back position.
I forgot about the addition of Rashawn Johnson from Texas.
Yeah, Rashawn Johnson's there. So you got Justin Fields needing to have to throw the ball for this team here. DJ Moore, he's going to be a target machine. This isn't Allen Robinson. This isn't Chase Claypool, right? DJ Moore and damn, who's the other receiver that's always there? I can't think of his name.
They're with the Bears now?
Yes. Who's been there for a while. He was number 1 last year.
Your guy. You always were big on Tanner. Yeah, I remember now. I was never as big on him as you were, though.
I know, but I can't think of his name. Damn it, dude.
I know what you're talking about, though.
You know what I'm talking about. So,
we're still in off-season mode. Our minds are turned off.
Darnell Mooney. Thank you. Darnell Mooney. Those 2 guys, you can get Mooney in about the 7th, 8th turn usually right now. That's pending, of course, on your draft. But DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney going back to that 2 spot where he succeeded with Allen Robinson taking all the pressure away from him. I'm loving those 2 receivers here.
Yeah, I like DJ Moore for sure. I mean, he's been a good player since day one.
With a
crappy quarterback.
Play.
If Fields can take a little step up in the passing game, then that's going to really help out.
Yeah, I mean, Riley Reef coming in at the offensive tackle position is going to help that Bears line tremendously.
That guy's still alive. Yeah, he's been around forever.
Oh wait, sorry, he left. My bad.
I was wondering.
My bad. He left. My bad. I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong damn thing.
I was like, man, that guy's still around.
But he is still around. He's somewhere. So, but yeah, it's just my thoughts here on the Bears. Like, I'd never drafted a Bears receiver outside of Darnell Mooney, and that was like 9th and 10th round. So, like, having DJ Moore there, having Justin Fields who started passing more, like, I just think that's a big one to watch for in your drafts, especially if he's still there.
Anything else on that one?
I mean, I could probably
So,
keep
is there
going.
anything?
To be honest with you.
Well, JG, what do you got?
I'll go ahead.
Say
So
it. Say it.
first fantasy football topic of the season. Okay. So I'm starting right at the top. Christian McCaffrey is the Anthony Davis of the NFL. If you have the number 1 overall pick, please just do yourself a favor. Do not draft Christian McCaffrey. He's going to play.
I hope you're not drafting him first.
He's going to play 12 or 13 games if you're lucky. Okay. I'm not going to waste a number 1 overall pick. I understand that it's a great offense and on a winning team that wants to run the ball. I get all that shit. I do not trust this guy. And most of the time with fantasy football, we don't generally bring in health into the equation so much. But when you have a guy like gets injured, it seems like every fucking year. It's kind of like a prove it deal, like let's stay healthy for a while and see what happens.
So you need another year from Watson.
He's banking on the fact he can't do it
Watson.
2 years in a row.
I know. I just think he's due, man. He's
McCaffrey-
overdue.
McCaffrey played the full year with the 49ers and did a good job.
Yeah.
Well,
he was great.
I mean, Panthers and 49ers, two different teams.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's what I mean is like he did a good job. He was healthy the whole time.
but-
So he's basically saying they don't bank on that to happen 2 years in a row.
It's a big risk.
That's
hey,
a
man,
big
I'm
risk.
a risk
wouldn't do it.
taker. I'm a big risk taker. If y'all want to take risks, I'm all for it.
But that's passing on.
That's not going to be me.
That's passing on JJ and Jamar Chase. Like that's like if you're not taking those two guys, if you're taking Christian ahead of those two guys, go reevaluate your team, dude. Because it's not good.
Just fucking A, man. Take Justin Jefferson with the number 1 overall.
There's
pick.
a reason why I went many years ago 0 RB or RB0, whatever you guys want to call it. Many years ago is because they're an injury-prone position.
Take fucking Justin Jefferson. You'll be happy you did.
Guys, every year I have a top
Ritter.
2 receiving group in our fantasy league.
Yeah.
Every single year because I don't give a damn about these running backs.
And I'm actually a big fan. Like I've heard rumblings of, this is going to be a year where first and second round receivers are going to explode and the running backs aren't going to be that good. I totally disagree with that. I love all of the running backs in the first and second round.
Are you pulling an old JG this year?
No.
He's going to pull old JG this year?
He won't do that.
I'm just saying that, like, everybody knows, like, we've got the data to back it up. You want to get your running backs early. And I like all of the running backs in the first and second round, except for the guy at the top. That's the only guy I do not want.
Please do. Take all the running backs.
You got all the draft picks, so I mean, have at it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have.
If you screw this up, then I don't know what to tell you.
But not. I don't have multiple picks in the first and second round. Like I just get my one pick. I'm telling you, if I get running backs, which I probably at least get one.
Are you gonna go 6 in a row or something like that?
I don't. Hey man, if McCaffrey drops down and I've got the 5th pick, I'm not taking that asshole.
Yeah.
Do not trust him, man.
I don't blame him.
Do you guys trust Anthony Davis to be healthy?
No, but I trust Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Well, I
wouldn't trust him that much.
I will gift him to you.
If he drops down, if I'm at 9 or 10,
if you're at 5,
there, I'm taking him.
If you're at 5 and I'm at 4, I will gift him to you.
And I don't take running backs
happily.
until like the 4th round. So like or 5th round. Like that's I'll take McCaffrey at 9 or 10. So
yeah, I'll be finding those backups that are about to swoop in and take over McCaffrey's job. That's what I'll be looking for in my drafts.
Now, Mike, I got one more. I'm just curious for you because a couple of additions here to the Browns. Okay, Deshaun Watson, full off season now, getting to actually go from a full off season to a straight into the regular season that we haven't seen in 4 years, it seems like. So Elijah Moore from the Jets coming in for the receivers and Marquise Goodwin. Do you like Elijah? I love Elijah Moore in this case here. Of going into the situation where they're looking for somebody on the opposite side of Amari Cooper. Donovan Peoples-Jones, great slot player. He's not a number 2. Elijah Moore shown he can be a number 1 at times. Do you like Elijah Moore to come into this and be a hot target for Deshaun, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I could see it mainly because he's good at the underneath stuff. I mean, it would make sense for him to be that kind of player. I mean, the Browns got rid of Kareem Hunt. Right now, he's a free. I mean, he could come back. I guess he's a free agent still.
He is still a free agent.
The plan right now is to use Nick Chubb more in the receiving game, but also on that underneath stuff. Elijah Moore is going to be involved a lot in that kind of stuff. The quick pivot routes, the quick outs, quick ends, stuff like that. I see him being involved in quite a bit. Where Amari Cooper is more your post guy, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, we've seen him be a deep threat from time to time.
Yeah, kind of more of a straight line kind of guy.
I think your Elijah Moore is not to have any pun intended about the names, but is more of what we're going to see using Sky more with the Chiefs.
Correct.
A little bit with that underneath stuff. But I think it's going to fit in pretty well. Also more of a veteran, been around the league longer than Sky Moore, so it's not a fair comparison. But yeah, I like the fit. I don't know the stats in mind necessarily right now, but I mean, I could easily see a guy like that giving you at least 65 catches and 800 yards or so.
I agree with that.
Somewhere around maybe that range would be ideal.
Yeah, that offense has to click, or Stefanski's getting fired.
Yeah, he's done. Right?
Yeah,
I'll fire him.
This is a
fire
pretty year, and you're going to fire him probably week 7.
I will personally fire his ass.
Newsflash: U.S. soccer down 1-0 to Panama. Carlos, you're going to have to inform us here, man.
Panama.
What's going on in the soccer world, and why is U.S. playing? So please inform us, because I have zero idea.
I have no idea. So we had another. What was that? Some Facebook user had a bold prediction for himself.
That's Carlos. I got him.
Carlos.
I got him finally to click the link so he can show himself. So
After all these years,
right? He says my bold prediction is Washington will beat out the Giants for the playoffs last spot in the NFC East. Both New York teams finish 8-9. Tampa is a sleeper team.
I like Tampa. I will say that right now. I think that here's what's going to either happen. Either Baker Mayfield figures it all out all of a sudden and is a consistent, reliable quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over, or he goes the full opposite and he goes 30 for 30, just like Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
good
defense.
Where he goes out there and goes 30 for 30 and throws 30 picks and 30 touchdowns, just like Winston did a few years ago. And then all of a sudden that's what happened. I don't know. I think Mayfield's better than that, but I think his type of play style fits Mike Evans and Chris Godwin pretty well. So those two guys as fantasy prospects are still going to be very admirable.
I agree.
Targets for most fantasy guys out there.
Without a doubt. I think I took Mike Evans in the third this year. So third round.
That's
it's kind of a reach, but
about 5 years ago I would have said, "Oh, great pick," but
they're
he's getting a little older is all.
He is. I'm pretty sure it was the third. I'll have to double check, but like it was between a few players, but I liked Mike Evans. I like the opportunity he's going to have in Tampa again this year. So,
all right. We'll see how things unfold. We'll hit on more fantasy, of course, next week.
We'll tied 1-1.
We'll start going on about some of our other opinions and picks along the way. And I think sometime probably at the late August, we're going to have a mock draft again, right, Tanner? Is that the plan? I mean,
are we doing a 2-parter again, like we want to, or what?
Well, we don't need to do the full 20 whatever rounds. I mean, we can just do a 10-round mock draft.
Oh, you just want to do 10 round
people. Yeah, nothing wild. I mean,
well, I can tell you right now, if we do a Sports Buffoons draft, I'm gonna make sure you guys are aware that it's not a mock draft. This is a real draft.
That's true. You do need to let us
know
because
you guys were very confused the whole
pissed.
Entire draft.
We were pissed.
Yeah, you guys drafted shitty.
Yeah, because we thought it was
all because you thought I was gonna steal all your picks.
Well, yeah, we were drafting random guys because we thought you were.
Because I was gonna steal all your picks.
Yeah, we're taking guys we didn't like.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
You never told us it was a real draft.
I said it before the show. We can go back and watch it.
That's why. Do you really think I would have taken Cam Akers in real life? I mean,
right? No, you wouldn't have done.
What was that? The second, third round, third round.
Whenever
or
you
something
did that,
like
I was pissed. Actually,
well, sure you were. I'd be pissed too.
So yeah, when I saw that shit,
I was
like, well, this is gonna be.
I'm pretty sure we finished dead last in the league too. God,
it's not. Let's next time have a game plan, Tanner.
I was trying to surprise you, and I wanted to spur of the moment thing, and you guys were
that's
too much. Drinking to be able to listen correctly.
That is not. How we
this is a quarter. Is this a quarterfinal? Yeah, quarterfinal Gold Cup, U.S. Men's National Soccer Team, the kickoff Gold Cup. I don't know.
Kung Fu Panda.
Pretty much, dude. I don't fucking know.
All right, guys. So training camp for the Chiefs does start here in about a week, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We got some rookies reporting at least, and then the other veterans will show up a few days after.
I believe the rookies report the 18th and everybody else. Oh, no, 17th. Everybody reports 17th. The 18th. So,
yeah. So, I mean, it's coming up soon. You guys coming up quick. We're going to try to get out there here in about 2 weeks or so. Hopefully put together a video that we tried to do last year, and we're going to try it again this year, see what the hell happens, I guess. But anything come to mind, I mean, before we get rolling around a training camp, because next time we're talking on this same thing, it'll officially be underway. There'll be arrowheads out there at Missouri Western. So for me, the main thing I'm looking forward to, I guess, when I watch training camp this year is watching the progression of the receiving group, because there is a battle within themselves with that regard. I mean, MVS obviously is going to be an integral part of the offense this year as a veteran receiver. I think he's also maxed out in a lot of ways. But I think that there's the rest of the receivers of this whole team literally, you could range them all over the place. We have no idea what their future holds. So I'm looking forward to seeing who can stand out the most, who can break out, who's going to make an impact, who's going to showcase themselves in camp themselves before we get to the games. And then also, for me, I'd like one guy that I think we've all forgotten about for a bit was Drew Tranquil, linebacker that came over from the Chargers. I think he's a really underrated signing that I think we've all just kind of we saw it come through the news on Twitter or whatever, and was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I like that guy. I remember him picking off Mahomes at one time. And then after that, we never thought about him again. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to make an impact on this team in a lot of different ways.
We heard the stories, right? What happened, right? The whole reason he came to KC was the front office wanted him, but the most important part was Andy Reid says, "Let's go Big Red," and that's exactly what he said to Drew. And Drew's like, "All right, they want me. Yeah, somebody actually wants me here."
He said something along the lines like think red, think Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's what it was. Think red, think Super Bowls.
Yeah. And from then on, it's like Drew Tranquil came from the Chargers, who doesn't win shit.
He also said, but he also said he was like, no other teams really approached me the way the Chiefs did.
Right. Well, when you pick off Patrick Mahomes the way he did, I mean, we're kind of impressed. We're like, hey, you got some moves, man.
You did some good, right? Yeah, having Drew moves there. Here's the thing. I think that a lot of things that we've been missing in the defensive side of things is that secondary of the middle linebacker spot, and that's something Drew can bring to that. We have Chanel, we got Bolton, right? We have that too.
Coverage,
but
he's gonna make an impact in coverage.
Huge. We had Harris, we had whatever. The last few years, and it was trash. Before that, it was the Iowa guy, right? And it wasn't good there. So having Drew Tranquil, having a vet like Drew on the team there behind Chanel, behind Bolton, be able to fill in the way he is, that's massive for this defense. And that's already bolstered up this high-powered linebacking core we got.
Now, all four guys provide something different to the team.
Huge. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
We've seen Willie Gay used as a pass rusher. We've seen Nick Bolton primarily used on the run, but also, I mean, he's kind of a versatile linebacker.
He's starting to figure it out. Yeah.
He can do a lot of different things, but is he great in coverage? Could be better. It could be some room for improvement. Leo Chanel is strictly a run-stopping linebacker.
And we saw him make some big plays late in the games, big games.
Of course.
Yeah.
Leo's going to be involved without a doubt this whole season. Mm-hmm. But then Drew Tranquil is your true coverage linebacker that, is going to be relied upon on third downs. So I think it's an amazing fit, and people out there need to be paying attention to the fact that he's going to be involved a lot. That, and then of course I want to see how the D line goes. I mean, the rotation, how fast can Felix get involved with the starters, and then of course the improvement of George Karlaftis, because that's going to be very necessary going into this next season. So that's what I want to see in training camp coming up. So I mean, what do you guys have in mind?
For me, the eyes, as it is every year, it seems like for the last 5 years, it's on the defensive line. I want to see where we're at. Where is Felix? What's George Karlaftis looking like? Where are we at with Omahil, Charles, right? We got 49ers, right? Yeah. We got to remember this here. I want to see, BJ Thompson. What's he look like, right? I want to see some of these depth guys, see where they're working in, see the situations they're in when we go to training camp here. And hopefully I get to go a couple times here. So I want to see the situations on this D-line. This is where I'm more fascinated by than the rest of the team, because pass rush is all about everything, containing the runs where we got to be. You're missing a Frank Clark this year. There is no veteran presence on the outside of Charles right now. And does Charles bring the same thing Frank Clark is on the outside? I don't know yet. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see exactly where we're at. So that's where I'm looking at. The next step would, of course, be the secondary. Brian Cook starting at strong safety there. Love to see where he gets worked in, the mix that he gets involved in. I think this year is going to be huge for him. And Mike Edwards, of course, coming into play from Tampa Bay. That's going to be a blast to see exactly how he works into this offense. So
I think he's one of the guys that faked a vaccine, Tanner, whenever the Buccaneers.
I don't know. I think so.
Mark Edwards was one of those guys, I believe.
Maybe that's why he's on the Chiefs now, right? So,
vaccine.
But it's going to be interesting there. Like the defensive side's where I'm more fascinated at. I know a lot of other people will be wanting the offense, but DiCaprio Boodle, Joshua Williams. Does Joshua Williams look does he look the same like he did last year in the training camp? We'll have to see. That's the thing, though, is I want to see these guys out there. So my side's the defense, specifically the defensive line.
Yeah. Defense is going to be fun.
For me, I think when we all go to training camp, I'm looking at the rookies. I mean, that's what I'm most interested in watching. And for me, it's all about Rashee Rice. I want to see how big his role is going to be in year one, how he's going to fit into this offense. And then I want to see if Sky Moore in year two is going to take the next step forward for this team.
I like that. Carlos asked a really good question here, if I can get to it. Do you guys think these other football leagues, the AFL, XFL, etc., right, have helped any future players? And I'm going to add on, will they?
Have they helped any future players, like basically guys that have not made it yet? Basically, kind of like we looked at NFL Europe. Is that
so?
The point?
We had guys that played in the was the AFL, XFL that started the spring.
Yeah, the XFL,
XFL,
and then
right?
the USFL.
USFL.
Yeah,
Okay.
USFL.
So we had guys that, Dallas Cowboys backup, right? And some other guys that played in the NFL already this season got a chance to showcase their opportunity and everything like that. Which is, for me, I'm not saying I don't think it's helped any right now, but because of that fact from what we saw this year, I think it will help here. I think we're on the right trajectory. I think this is why some of these leagues are sticking around for another year, is because we're starting to see like, hey, good developmental for guys that sit on the bench the whole entire season, right? For 17, 18, 19, 20 games. Yeah. So haven't seen that. I think it will help. As of right now, I'm going to still say no, but I think we're in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to make a roster, it's not going to hurt you necessarily to be involved in any of these other leagues. I think that the XFL MVP ended up getting a shot, I think, with the team. Can't remember who that ended up being. But we've seen that before. I mean, if you guys remember, He Hurt Me back when the original, it was Rod Smart. Ended up playing for the Panthers for a little bit. He got a shot because of the XFL. It's not going to hurt anybody to be a part of the XFL or USFL, but at the same time, I do question how is that going to work out longevity wise when you're a part of these other leagues and you're playing 10 or 12 games in these other football leagues. Meanwhile, you got to get ready for training camp in the NFL if you are to be picked up by a team.
But I mean,
you're then putting yourself through basically 2 seasons in one.
That's true.
By playing
I guess that's
all
true.
These extra games, especially if you're playing like a running back position. Just stuff like that, I think, can take a toll on a body to where you're not as effective once you're with your NFL team. So just with the way that the NFL sport is constructed, I think that could actually be a hindrance, but it also gets your name out there to where you're noticed.
Right. So Ben DiNucci was who I was thinking of for a minute there for the Sea Dragons. So, but former Chief out there, Jordan Tamu. Yeah. Cowboys. Jordan Tamu, who tried out for the Chiefs here. He was a number 3 in the contenders list for MVP this year. Abram Smith is a running back, and then AJ McCarron, of course. The actual MVP was not AJ McCarron, who was runner up, and we all know he's the guy that can play. Luis Perez is your guy for the MVP this year, and he is with, where is he with now? Do you remember?
No, I missed where he ended up going to. I think someone picked him up though, but yeah, it's kind of a funny. I think the biggest impact it can make.
Los Angeles Rams.
Okay. I think position makes a big impact on that.
I think so. I think it's similar to what you see in the NFL.
As a quarterback, it can help you.
It's
without a doubt. I mean, you're not taking as many hits. You can go play 30 games if you need to. In most cases, we saw Kurt Warner obviously play in arena football, and look what happened with him. I mean, the guy was a superstar in arena football.
Right.
Goes to the NFL and lights it up and has the greatest show on turf and has an amazing career.
Yeah.
These other smaller leagues can absolutely help you, but I also think if you're playing certain positions that take more of a pounding, it's going to be harder for you to get to the next level and then make an impact in that same year.
Yeah. He said Lawrence Phillips was one of the biggest names to make it back to the NFL, which is true back in the day. So,
and I think that these leagues, they should help you get opportunities, but I don't know if they actually will. And I'm only saying that because, this was long before my time, but there were some decent players that came out of the USFL back in the day.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if they played in the off season back then. Again, way before
like
my
Lawrence
time.
Phillips, right?
But there were players back then, and I think quarterbacks come to mind first. But it did help some players back in the day. So
I think what their NFL is kind of starting to realize here, as we're slowly getting there, is gearing up like kind of like the G League, right? G League of the NFL. And then the minor leagues, of course.
But I wish that it was going on during the NFL season.
Correct.
In some way.
Correct.
Tanner, you should look that up to see if the USFL ran during the NFL regular season back then. Because my guess is it did. And that's not what we're doing right now.
I don't know. I'm afraid the USFL was worried about competing with TV viewership.
Right.
You weren't not going to get any
right. And if that's what they're worried about, then no, you're probably not going to help.
That's why these other leagues play in the spring. That's that way they can get some Fox, they can get on TV here and there. If you're playing during NFL, no one's going to give a damn. Like literally, people are watching your product because they're trying to buy time to get to the real thing.
I mean, for me personally, I would be more likely to watch
Nope.
it during the NFL season than I would during the NBA season because I'm an NBA guy.
So it was a spring summer schedule back in 83 to 85.
Okay.
So 86 was the only time they went autumn and winter. So the final year of that before it ceased operations, they did go autumn and winter.
Who were the quarterbacks? Do you remember that came out of that? I mean, it's such a long time ago.
Let's see here.
I feel like maybe like Jim Kelly or somebody like that, or no, Steve Young.
So talent
Young?
level,
Steve Young was a part of that.
So talent level, 3 consecutive Heisman Trophy winners signed with the USFL teams directly out of college. Herschel Walker, Doug Flutie, Mike Rozier,
Flutie Flakes.
Yep. Reggie White also played for the USFL. Gary Zimmerman, Jim Kelly, Steve Young, of course, like you guys just stated, as well. And he played for like three different teams in the USFL.
I also think scouting though is different back then, where guys could fly under the radar more.
For sure.
In today's world, the football scouts we have in this world now are freaking amazing.
Oh wow, Chiefs 3-time Pro Bowler safety Gary Barbaro played USFL too. So that's kind of cool. Like it's kind of cool to look back there, but yes, they only did one season before they ceased operations in the autumn winter.
See, this day and age, though, you just wouldn't find that many guys in a lower tier program. Like scouting these days is too damn good, and I'm proud to say that, honestly, because I just think it's awesome how football itself has gotten down to such a science in a lot of ways.
Correct,
to where it's easy to find guys, and it takes some of the mystery out of it, though. Let's be honest.
There are guys that come back from the Canadian Football League. There are guys, but it's not.
We all thought Casey Printers was going to be the next great thing in Kansas City, right?
Hey, number one, baby, number one.
Yeah, he was going to take over Trent.
I was hoping he would come back another year to try out. So,
unfortunately, I don't think it was ever going to actually work out.
Yeah, he decided to not come back. So it's pretty bad.
All right. So Tanner, we got one more topic today, real quick. We have missed the NBA free agency, of course. We didn't get to talk about that yet since we've been on a 2-week hiatus from this show. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a floor to discuss some things. I have my own quick opinions, nothing crazy, of course, about the Suns, but I want to hear what you guys' initial thoughts on the first 2 weeks of NBA free agency.
Well, I'm sure you guys are dying to listen to me talk about where James Harden is going to play next. Unfortunately, I don't want to talk about him. Good. He doesn't want to play for the Sixers. Fine, get him the hell out of there. You opted in, so you might be stuck there anyway. So got that out of the way. I do like what the Lakers did after making it to the Western Conference Finals. So they kept a lot of their guys. They kept Rui, D'Angelo Russell, re-signed Austin Reeves. Also brought in Taurean Prince, who's an excellent three-point shooter, brought in Gabe Vincent. So they're getting more shooters around LeBron James. And it's not rocket science, guys. Like in all of LeBron's championships, that's what they did. You put shooters around him, and that's how you win.
I'm pretty bummed that Malik Beasley, though, now is going to be looking on the outside in of this team, who contributed so much of that trade deadline.
That's fine, but I'd be willing to give him up as long as I'm bringing in Gabe Vincent. But Austin Reeves was the big one for me. You want another guy that can be a facilitator and also get you buckets when LeBron's not on the court, or even if he is on the court. Right. So Cam Reddish, that's fine. That
Jackson
was just
Hayes,
that was just kind of a whatever signing.
Couple guys,
I like what they did. I mean, I think when you're in the West, and you have LeBron James on your team, you're always going to have a shot. I don't know that necessarily puts them over the top in terms of being able to beat the Nuggets, but I just think that people are discounting the fact that the Nuggets lost Bruce Brown. He was much bigger piece than people give him credit for that team. And I understand Christian Brown, he was great for them as well. But I think the fact that they lost Bruce Brown and the fact that the Lakers added all these other guys, I think that narrows the gap a little bit. But most importantly, my favorite thing that the Lakers did, that they did not extend Anthony Davis.
They didn't.
Yeah, we like to talk about injured bums on this show. Why in the world would you give this guy an extension? I know he's only 30, 31 years old, but they're keeping their flexibility open for the future, which is very important. And so Happy what the Lakers did. Most importantly, they did not extend Anthony Davis.
Do you think with that non-extension happening with AD, you think it's LeBron's notified somebody in there in the front office like, hey, I'm only gonna be here another year or two, right? It's looking pretty dim.
I don't even think he has to say that. I mean, like LeBron, he's not falling off a cliff, but he's clearly not what he was. So we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. Like the dude is going to be on the decline if he's not already. And so he doesn't need to say anything to the front office. The front office already knows, okay, AD can't really stay healthy and LeBron's going to be gone. He's going to be out of here soon anyway. So we got to start looking towards the future.
Okay. And also just throw this around here. Next year, AD actually does have a player option to stay with the Lakers at $43 million. So, I guess it's up to what this year goes and see how AD feels. So, but they didn't extend. So after this year, he's a free agent.
Yes.
Or after this 2025, as long as he does, if he accepts, he stays. If he doesn't accept, he moves on.
Yep. So very happy with what the Lakers did. I don't have a problem with Golden State bringing in CP3. I don't know what you guys think about that. They had to get rid of Poole. It's not because Poole is a bad player. It's because you had that sort of toxic environment in the locker room after what happened between him and Draymond. And so I think Poole is still going to be an amazing player, just not going to happen right now for the Warriors. But I think that if you have CP3 running that second unit, I think it works for the Warriors and it works for CP3 because a guy like that gets injured all the time. That's the best thing for his career is to come off the bench. You can still have him in the closing unit, but you're not going to fall off a cliff when Steph Curry comes off the floor. When you put that second unit out there, there's not going to be this huge drop off because you're going to have CP3, who's a seasoned veteran, who does not turn the ball over. He's the Warriors, even during their championship years, were a high turnover team.
Very high.
CP3 is not that guy. He's going to keep things under control, especially if that second unit can still be on the floor to close the game if they want him to be out there. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be good chemistry. You're still going to have Draymond and Clay, Steph in with that first unit. You'll still have Draymond out there sort of orchestrating the offense on the first unit. And so I think CP3, that those guys are not going to butt heads. They're only there to accomplish one thing, and that's to try to win a championship. And CP3 should be more fired up than anybody else on that roster to try to get that done.
I mean, CP3 is going on his final bombardment here. Like this, Golden State's his final stop. It has to be his final stop. Depends what's happened this year. Like he could be on his way out. So like this is like when he got to the Golden State, he should have been super excited. He's like, hey, we got a chance here. We got a chance to make get my ring, and we'll be good, and I can retire.
And when he was on Phoenix, or pretty much all of his teams, he was never in a position to where he could be preserved.
Correct.
Through the regular season. So I think it's a great situation.
That's very correct.
And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on was Damian Lillard. Everybody's wanting to know when this guy is going to get traded to Miami. There are other teams who are interested, but there is only one team on the table, and that's Miami, because the Clippers not willing to give up Kawhi or Paul George. 76ers are not willing to give up Tyrese Maxey. Celtics not willing to give up Jaylen Brown. So they've taken, even though they show interest or whatever, they've taken themselves off the table. So he is going to go to the Miami Heat. It's only a matter of if, not when, not if. So it's definitely going to happen. And I'm just getting sick and tired of all these people talking shit on Tyler Hero like he's a bum. Like he got 6th man of the year in 2022. He averages 20 points a game.
Yep.
When he got 6th man of the year, he shoots 40% from 3, can create his own shot. For his career, he's 38%. And dude, he won 6th man of the year when he was age 22. A lot of NBA players, especially role players, don't do shit in their age 22 season. So I wish people would stop talking about Tyler Hero like he's a bum and that, Miami can't really offer anything. Well, that's the best offer you're going to get. And if you're going to give me Tyler Hero and a 2028 and a 2030 unprotected pick, and you're going to throw in either Kyle Lowry or Duncan Robinson, if that's the best deal that I'm going to get, and I want to make Dame happy because he's given so much to my franchise over these years, I'm going to fucking do it. Now, again, they could play this thing out until the trade deadline if they want to.
They could.
But ultimately, that's where he's going to go. I also think you're going to have to bring in either a third and or a fourth team to try to get this thing done. Maybe get some more picks in there.
That's what it's going to come out to be, right?
Yeah, because if you want to get rid of Kyle Lowry in particular, you're going to have to bring in a third or a fourth team. Could be a 5-team deal. Who knows?
It could be pretty tremendous here for the NBA there. I think Dame's already come out and he said he's talked with people outside of Miami. He goes, hey, you don't want an unhappy player there where you're at. And that's what I'm going to be. So Miami, is his only destination. How they work it, how Portland gets their return in the end, because they come out too. They're like, we want our return as well. Like, we're not just going to give you for free. We're not going to give you because, hey, you gave us, 900 great years. Like, we want a return too. So I guess it could be some drama come almost beginning of the season / trade deadline. Like, we could be seeing a lot of drama in this thing.
Yeah, and I thought it was totally hilarious how Philadelphia wanted to get involved somehow and be like, oh, here you go. I'll give you. You guys want James Larden? We'll give him up. You just give us Dame.
They thought it was a good deal.
And they're like, fuck you, asshole. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
They were like, I want
something
Tyrese.
You would do during the fantasy football season.
Say, low ball. They used to call me low ball Larry.
Low ball Larry.
Tell him I'll give up the farm. And
yeah,
then
that was.
You give him James Larden.
Yeah, that's what they used to call
Here's
me.
13 players.
Low ball Larry. Well, I mean, James Larden still has value.
He has
not
value.
not that much value.
I mean,
he's an aging superstar.
What? James Harden and 6 first-round picks? Like, that's what you're gonna have to put out.
And to be fair, so is Dame Lillard. He's another aging superstar, but those guys are playing at 2 different levels right now.
He believes it. Not above either.
Exactly.
Carlos Aguirre says, if I'm Knicks, I throw Randall in the mix for that Lillard trade. But here's the thing.
Oh, I'll bet you would.
Yeah, well, anybody would, right?
Bet you would.
I'll give you Randall for I'll give you Randall for anybody right now. Mike, you had something to say about this NBA.
Oh, not a lot, really. I mean, you guys know I'm a Suns fan, so to me, I'm watching primarily from the lens of whatever the hell the Suns are doing. So I like the Bradley Beal pickup. I didn't know what to think of it at first, but I mean, we needed a guy like that on the roster. The Suns, though, they are the favored team currently to win the finals for this coming season. At the moment, of course, those things can always change, but I think it's primarily due to the fact that it's a veteran team, and obviously the starting 5 are really solid as a whole. But no, they've added some other veteran pieces along the way. At this point, it's a team that's going all in.
And you said they were shopping Cam Payne. Is that correct?
Yeah, Cam Payne is also up for grabs at the moment. They're trying to find a true point guard to have coming off the bench, which he is not. He's not even really good at it. So they're just trying to figure out a way to kind of fulfill that secondary role there from the point guard spot. So, yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that they're trying
to. What are you laughing about,
him.
Tanner?
They need so much right now.
I mean,
dude, this is
you got 4 guys,
and that's what they're trying to do. That's why you want to move Cam Payne to get some pieces.
Gosh,
Tanner, they're loading up on literally starting.
You need Cam Payne
starter.
Right
no, you don't. No, he's not. Tanner, he's not very good.
He's
not very good.
He's serviceable.
Tanner, he's a decent shooter, but he's not a facilitator. They need facilitators on that team because they got rid of Chris Paul. And I understand, Mike, you can't stand Chris Paul, but he is a very good facilitator. That's something that Cam Payne doesn't bring to the table.
You think it's possible to be too much of a facilitator where you don't do anything else worth a shit?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I feel like Chris Paul is.
Yes, I believe you can be too much.
He was an amazing shooter back in the day. He could create his own shot at any time.
But here's the thing, right? So
he's just old now.
So if you're too much of a facilitator, though, that's where you find your turnover numbers start happening. Rajon Rondo, towards the end of his career, became too much of a facilitator, and that's where you start seeing the turnover numbers happen, and eventually he found his way out.
I know JG was saying it's not so much a thing, but I beg to differ in some cases. He's getting sloppier as time goes.
He's old, man.
I know. Yeah. I get that.
I mean, if you talk about players, I didn't want to go down this road, but LeBron James is too much of a facilitator. If he would have scored more, he would have been better than Jordan. Now he's only the 4th best player.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road either right now.
He's top of the scoring chain. I know what you need from him.
No,
I'm not going down that road right now.
I need PER and points per game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
going to.
And I need him to
Not
be
points.
better than the
Not
fourth.
points. You want him to score more points.
I want him to be better than the.
So
according to artificial intelligence, I want him to be better than the fourth best player in the history of the game. That's what I wanted.
You wanted him to basically surpass Kareem 5 years ago.
Yeah, I wanted him to surpass Kareem on the all-time
6 years ago.
GOAT list for
Okay.
sure.
Well,
He's not above
think-
Kareem on the
I
GOAT
think
list.
we're
So
past that. But anyways,
All right,
you're not
We'll
past
continue.
that.
We'll continue.
What else we got, guys?
Guys, Mike, I think this weekend you and myself, I think we're going to be binge watching the show,
Oh yeah,
The Quarterback.
Yeah, I have not watched any of it yet. I know it came
Nope.
out literally this morning.
I didn't even see a trailer
Um,
for it yet.
I've seen the trailer for it. I know all about what it's about. But I've made a promise to my girlfriend that I'll wait to watch it while I'm with her because she wants to watch it too. But you know what? That's what I do as a football boyfriend. Is that
Look at you.
I'm like I want her to be at least halfway as invested as I am because it's going to be ever hard to match what I am. So I'm like, yeah, of course I'm going to sit there and wait around an extra 3 days to get to watch the first episode of the quarterback show that I've been wanting to watch for 3 months.
Meanwhile, me and my wife, she
Yeah.
wants to. We're gonna sign back up for Netflix because they ruled out that $8.99, additional fee if you're sharing.
Oh, they did away with that shit
Yeah,
finally?
if you're sharing, you have to pay another $8.99 essentially, right?
Well, that didn't
for-
last long, did it?
No, not at all. So,
we knew it was bullshit from the very beginning.
well, yeah. So like since that's happening, we haven't signed back up for Netflix. So we're getting back on the Netflix chain this weekend. She has her show that has the seasons on it that she wants to watch. I want to watch The Quarterback, so we're gonna make this work. We'll be
There you
watching
go.
separate shows.
Hey,
But-
that's fair.
That I'm excited for it though.
I think my girlfriend was she's interested in the Chiefs, these
That's
days.
good.
Interested in Mahomes, wants to know more about him. He's a pretty intriguing guy.
I
So
mean-
and also I think she's also into Brittany, his wife, of course, a little
Yes.
bit, like wants to see more of her in the relationship, maybe. So I don't know, but I'm more interested in seeing Mahomes cuss out a few pieces of shit on the football field. So
Hey, I'm
That's what I'm
I'm just
wanting to do.
excited to see the exchanges and see the difference of Mahomes versus I'm gonna kill you, Mahomes. So
yeah. Anyways, I don't have much to say about it right now because I can't watch it until I can watch episode 1 tomorrow, I think, but I gotta go back.
I'm not touching it till this
So,
weekend.
so Saturday will be my main day to binge watch
Yeah.
as many as I can.
Saturday will probably be mine too because
Guys
And
wanna-
then you got to watch it too, man. You'll like that shit.
Now that takes away from my time from the tables. I can't do that.
Jesus
You guys
Christ.
want to hit on? Hey, you want to hit on Wemby real quick? What's he gonna do in year 1? You have high
I
expectations.
thought we were going to talk about Britney Spears. That's what I thought we were going with.
I
this.
did want to talk about Britney Spears.
I'd rather
but
talk about Britney
I
Spears.
thought better of it.
And Wemby.
Wemby. By the way,
Oh.
all the scrubs that are calling Wemby a bust after his first game, like get out of here with that shit. He almost had a triple double in his first game. So
But my little guy from
let's
K
call it as
my
it
guy
is.
from K-State though putting up numbers.
Yeah, he looks good.
And then they
Yeah.
said like he got posterized by the guy
And
when Wembanyama literally guarded both players at the same time. He guarded the entire pick and roll, both guys. Oh, he got dunked on. Yeah,
these
good
guys,
one, dude.
these people on Twitter, they're just hilarious to me. So
They are keyboard warriors. Mike.
yes, they are.
We love
Yes, they
keyboard
are.
warriors on this show.
Oh,
don't
they
we?
crack-
Those are
me
fun
up.
guys. Yeah. I like
and then he
keyboard
came
warriors.
back out with the 27 point, like what do you
Yeah.
like 27-10-8 or something like that.
No, just a quick
Something stupid.
take on it. I mean, he is
Wemby,
in year 1.
not MVP, of course, but
in year 1, look for him to
MVP.
be
not MVP.
defensively.
Not MVP.
He will.
NOT.
He is going to dominate in year 1 on the defensive side of the floor. And we at that point, I don't really care about his offense in year 1
Oh, I was
or
gonna
2.
say I'm gonna give him an average.
don't care.
I'm gonna give him 22 points a game. I'll give him an average of 10 rebounds a game, and I'll
Jeez.
give him an average of 8 blocks a game.
You guys are crazy, man. Those are big numbers.
I'll make
They're not that
another.
big in
You
NBA,
guys
bro.
like bold predictions. I think at some point in his career, he will record the 5th all-time quadruple double in the history of the game.
Ooh. Who goes first, Joker or him?
I don't see Joker getting a quad. How's Joker going to get a quad double? He doesn't play defense.
That's true.
He doesn't do shit on defense. You have to play defense. to
He'd
get
have a
quad
hell.
double.
He'd have to have a hell of a
That's-
game.
That's the reason why it's only happened.
He has
4
3 of the
times.
stats ready. It's just the blocks
Yeah.
part. If he can just get the blocks part figured out, he'd be fine.
Well, one guy did it with steals,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot.
but
about
yeah,
that.
no, it has to happen with
It's
the blocks,
blocks,
and that's
though.
why Wemby is the
Joker or
only guy.
Wemby, right?
Wemby, yeah, no, Joker has
Joker
no
can
shot.
get 3, no problem. All he has to do
You
is
have to
figure
have
out his blocks.
10 blocks, dude.
Yeah, he has to
He's
figure
not
out his
gonna
blocks.
get 10 fucking blocks.
He can
in a
get 10
game.
assists, 10 points easy, 10 boards easy, 10 assists
That's
easy.
like saying that Luka's going to get a quad double. That's never going to happen, dude.
We're not saying that at all. Not at all.
Do you know what a quad double is, Tanner?
Yes, 4 double.
And you think Joker?
stats.
You think Joker can get 10
because he can
blocks
get
in a
3
game.
so easy. This guy did it so easily.
Well,
it's just
let's-
playing defense for one game. Just play it
why
for
don't
one
we
game.
just make a bet right here,
No, I'm
right
not making a
now?
bet, dude.
First guy to get a
No.
quad double,
No, I'm not making a bet.
$100 right
No,
now.
I'm not making a bet.
It's just a hundo, man.
I-
You can pull that out of your ass.
Yeah, oh, sure. Okay. Sure. Okay. Literally out of my ass.
All right, you guys done talking about this bullshit.
Let's see here.
We're good.
Isaac Smith. Isaac, what's up, dude? He says rookie of the year, 20 points, 10 boards, and 3 blocks. Average.
No, I
So,
think Popovich is going to hold back his
Eh.
minutes just a little bit since he's a 7'3" monster. I actually have Scoot winning rookie of the year.
And then Flint says, and one Britney slap by accident. What a crazy story.
yeah. Oh, Brittany
Well, she
deal.
shouldn't have been harassing him, dude.
Right.
Yeah, you saw the video, right?
Oh, it's
She
funny.
came up. It's
It
like,
was, it was
what the hell are
funny.
you doing? Like,
Well,
you're
I mean,
a star.
I'm
Like,
sure she likes big black things, but come on, you keep your hand, keep your damn,
you
keep
saved
your,
yourself there.
keep your. I didn't save anything, dude. Just keep your damn hands to yourself, for crying out loud. I mean, my God.
Trying to stay relevant, grabbing on to whatever she can these days. She might have mistaken his arm because it's so skinny, like or something else. So, hard to say these days with what's going on there. But anyways, you guys, yes, we're looking forward to next week. Chiefs camp is going to be underway. Of course, not going to have much news yet because it's only going to be day 1. So obviously the week after that will be better. But we're thinking, guys, going on a weekend this year. So if anyone out there listening wants to join us for Chiefs camp, it's going to be potentially right now, August 5th is the current date we're looking at to go up to training camp. Hopefully that works out. Hopefully we run into people up there. It's going to be a fan day, so it's going to be busy as hell, guys. So, those out there trying to get our autographs, hope you guys can wait in line patiently. But that's the other guys are going to be got autographs too. Like I think the linebackers are getting autographs that day. So
Yeah, you can
really?
I think so.
Oh, man.
You
Some
can, you guys,
linebacker autographs.
you all
I
can
might need to sneak in.
feel free to meet us at the whiskey bar afterwards.
Well, I don't know what whiskey
The
bar we're going to
whiskey
go
bar?
to yet, but
It's a secret.
we got a few places afterwards.
Oh,
that we're going to hang out.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, I'm with you now.
So I'm hoping we can get a pre-show and an after show put together for you guys to do 2 shows in one day. Something like that would be nice. Or at least one full huge ass thing like we tried to do last year. So something like that would be cool.
We'll figure
Hopefully it
something
works.
out.
Hopefully it works. So anyways, guys, I'm going to try to keep opening this beef stick. I've worked on it for a while. So with that said, I appreciate you guys for checking in, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Outro.
See you guys.